Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right. Hey guys, welcome back to our show. I'm your host, John Harcar, and I'm here today with Everett Brunelle. And what we're going to talk about is, besides his journey in business and real estate and mortgage, we're going to talk about ground up construction loans, something that he's really focusing in specify, or has a specialty in, I guess you could say. Remember, guys, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, really all real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business by providing tools and resources to grow the business they want, which helps them in turn live that life they want to live. So, Everett, welcome to our show, man.
Hey, thanks, John. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, look forward to talking about ground up. I know a lot of our folks at our Mastermind have been talking about ground up stuff, but before we get into all that, I like to have our guests talk about their background a little bit, how they got into business, real estate, in your case maybe mortgage lending, and kind of what brought you to today.
Yeah, most definitely. So I'm born and raised in California. As of the recent years, moved out to Texas. But we came here with a purpose since my wife was getting a master's at TCU. And when I was in California, I was selling solar, and it was a perfect time because I wanted to get out of solar. And how I got into the industry was just on LinkedIn, looking around for jobs and just applying left and right, 100 jobs, and finally something stuck. And I didn't really understand what the job was, and I didn't really understand, the description wasn't the greatest. But my interviewer said that, hey, it's going to be in real estate. And I said, hey, real estate, I mean, that's the most amazing thing that you could possibly do. Didn't want to be a real estate agent, didn't want to sell homes. So I said, hey, let's just figure this out. And then it ended up being real estate lending for investors, something that I
cool.
didn't know what it was.
Okay.
Until I basically started my first day, and I started kind of understanding, okay, we're lending to people who are fixing and flipping properties, who are building homes, who are, buying rentals, things like that. And ever since then, I've just absolutely fallen in love with the industry, knowing the financial sides, how to run numbers, run deals, things like that. And then, fast forward to a couple years later, I've got my own team. I mean, within our company. And we're just very focused on ground up construction, as you said.
Okay. Well, cool. Before we kind of start talking about where we're at today and the company and all that stuff, I like to always go back. If you ever watch any of my podcasts, I like to ask this question. Was there any influence, any exposure, anything, anyone in your life maybe that was doing real estate in the past that maybe sparked that little bit of interest, maybe planting a little seed? Because you said it was, you said, real estate's a great thing. So is that something that you kind of had exposure to before?
Yeah. I had tons of exposure. My dad was a real estate appraiser in the Palm Springs area for 20 years. He was the most well-known appraiser in that area.
Awesome.
So I've seen a lot of real estate. My dad owns properties. He owns all that stuff. We've always talked about, doing a joint venture.
Okay.
But by the time that I got to the age that I could actually invest, he was already done. And he said, you do it on your own kind of thing.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And he's on, he's sitting pretty right now, just living life off of his rental properties.
Love it.
So yeah, now he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. I've done it for too long. So I'll help you. I'll give you some pointers.
Mhm.
But I'm not going to do any more deals or anything. I don't need to. So yeah,
Right.
just figured it all out on my own. But yeah, my dad was a big influence.
Okay. And then you were doing solar, you were selling solar. Like what kind of things did you pull from solar that really helped you in your career where you're at now?
Sales really. Door to door is probably one of the hardest ways
Oh
to
yeah.
sell somebody. You're taking somebody who's maybe not interested or not educated on a product, you're teaching them, and then after you've taught them, then you have to sell them, right? So it's a pretty
Mhm.
hard industry. So a lot of it is networking, connecting with people, selling. So yeah, definitely with the, lending world, and we're selling loans, but also, there's so many lenders out there.
Right.
Uh, Personality and network definitely helps
Hmm.
win that gauge, because we have, all of our competitors do the same exact thing. Really, nobody's special. Nobody does anything crazy or different or super amazing. Maybe you have like one or two things that's very minor.
Sure.
But when you have a loan officer that's working with you, that actually cares about you, that is connecting with you, that is talking to you, um, that's the biggest thing that I've learned from solar for sure.
Okay. Did you have any specific sales education that you relied on, or that you were, you kind of they shared with you the company that you're working for, or whatever, like something that was kind of your guide into how to approach and talk to people?
In solar or as of today?
Anything in any of, I mean, I guess probably back at solar, how it built your skills.
Yeah, so I mean, in solar, I started at a startup, really. So there was the two owners and me and my buddies. Like we were all of the sales reps. So really, we didn't have any like guides. They gave us a little pamphlet and they said,
Just here, go talk to these people.
just go talk to people and try to sell them solar. And if you can set an appointment, then we'll have a real closer come in and sell them the appointment.
Nice.
So it was kind of like learn the lingo, set appointments, sit in on the appointments while it's being closed, and then you can
Hmm.
start closing on your own. Um, they had some sales training. They had some people that, they brought in some big door-to-door sales guys who are super good to teach us and stuff. But it's really learn as you go, and then
Yeah.
also putting in some time on your own time to learn how to sell, learn how to network, learn how to do all those things to be successful. If I just sat around waiting for someone to teach me or waiting for something to come across my desk, then
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Well, that's some of the biggest, experience too, is just getting out there and doing it. Learn trial by fire, get thrown into the wolf.
100%.
All right. So you moved to Texas. You find this job on LinkedIn for a lending company that lends to real estate agents. Tell us about, some of the struggles that you dealt with when you got into the lending business.
Yeah, so I was at a brokerage, so we didn't have our own money. So it was, find the investor and then connect them with our lending platform of all direct lenders. So the big struggle was really understanding first all of the leverage lingo and all the real estate lingo, loan to
Hmm.
cost, loan to value, ARV, you know, debt ratio, learning all that stuff was a learning curve. And
Right.
then from there, then it was learning all about, okay, who or what lender is going to be a best fit for this investor as well. Because some lenders care about credit score, some lenders don't. Some lenders want you to have maybe 8 months of interest reserves for the monthly payments. Some lenders say 6 months. Some
Hmm.
lenders are going to charge you a lot on their origination costs, but give you very high leverage.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And some will give you less leverage and charge you less. So it's really figuring out what does the customer want, and then who fits that lender the best, and then providing that kind of a middleman expertise on, okay, this is your lender, this is who you're going to want to go through because XYZ. So yeah, and I mean, there's tons of lenders out there. Thankfully, we narrowed it down to like 8 of them that we used mainly. But yeah, that was definitely a learning curve for sure.
Okay. And are you still with that company now? Same
I'm
company?
not, no, yeah.
Okay.
So basically
So
I knew that it was a good company. It was a great company to start at.
Mhm.
Got my feet wet into the industry, helped me learn that, okay, I actually like this. This is really cool. I get to see the financial side of it.
Right.
Uh, Now it's kind of time to part ways. Now I'm at a direct lender. We own our own capital. You know, we're privately held.
Nice.
I'm backed by a New York hedge fund. And I'm at a company that we do over $2 billion of loans each year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What are some of the trends that you're seeing now? Like, is there more of a lot more DSCR coming down? You know, people getting that? Are there more? I mean, what kind of trends are you seeing in the lending world today?
So we stay up to date, very up to date with our DSCR loans. Um, they've kind of slowed down as of these last couple of weeks due to the tariffs.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the volatility and the rates have just been up and down and left and right. So a lot of less people maybe wanting to lock in their rate of what they see now because they think it's either they don't know what's really gonna happen.
Right.
Uh, so we're seeing a little bit more of bridge loans, just, a little bit of a higher interest, but there is no prepay penalty. There is no, anything holding them down. And it's, they can get 12 to 24 months. So they're willing to pay a little bit higher to not get stuck and pay a penalty.
Sure.
So we see that, or, people just buy down or buy out their option in the DSCR because a standard is a 5-year prepay penalty. You can get that down to a 4, 3, 2, 1, or even none. It'll just affect your interest rate. So
Mhm.
even if someone does a DSCR loan in today's, days with, the whole tariffs and everything, it's usually going to be a 0%. And then they'll take the higher interest rate to not lock them in at a, 8 or 9% rate for when it drops a little bit more, then they'll go in and relock it.
Right. Okay, cool. And then just for people that might not be on or might not know that are on here listening, what is DSCR?
So DSCR stands for debt service covered ratio.
And how is that figured out?
And it's really basically that 1% rule that every real estate investor talks about is, hey, does it meet, if you're buying a property for X amount, does it meet that 1% rule in the rents? So for example, you buy $100,000 house, does it rent for at least $1,000
Right.
to be able to cover all of the debts that are associated with it? So your principal, interest, taxes, insurance, things like that.
Got it. All right. Very cool. All right. So you're at this new company. What is your business, your team? What does all that look like now? Tell us a little bit about that before we go into, what our topic of ground construction stuff was.
Yeah, so and I mean I can roll right into it. We've got a team of territory managers where we're all guys who are in their market, right? Most companies are just going to have your headquarter, everybody's in there. It kind of gives you a call center vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just dialing, trying to connect with people. Us as territory managers, we're actually in our markets. We're going to real estate meetups. We're going to, we're doing podcasts, things like that, just really exposing ourselves into the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think we've got about 10 guys on our team,
Okay.
ranging from West Coast to East Coast, Southern Belt, things like that. And yeah, what I focus on, and everybody brings kind of their own cup of tea or what they like to the table.
Mm-hmm.
I specifically focus on ground up construction because I'm here in Texas and it's something that's absolutely booming.
Why
While,
is it booming? Why do you think it's taking off so much?
it's because everybody's moving here. well, I guess I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people are moving here, right?
Mhm.
Texas, we just crossed 30 million people.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
In population.
That's a country, dude.
It's insane. All the big cities, San Antonio, Houston, Austin, and DFW, Dallas,
DFW, yeah.
um, out of the top 10 places that people are moving to and building, Dallas is, or sorry, not Dallas, but all of the Texas cities are in there. So what is that? San Antonio, Houston, Austin. That's 4 of the top 10 are in Texas,
Yeah,
right? And
that's
when people are
crazy.
coming from out of state, their money's going further, right? So for example, lots of Californians are coming to Texas. They're selling, $1 million condo.
Hmm.
And then now they're like, okay, I've got $1 million. I can go and buy whatever I want. Well, I don't want just, gonna go buy a house in the suburbs. I'm gonna go build a house. So we've got
Yeah.
a lot of kind of boutique builders, small builders that are, starting to scale 2 to 5x, as you kind of said,
Yeah.
uh, because they have so much more people, the supply and demand.
Same with
Uh,
Boise here. I mean, it's same
yeah,
thing.
I
It
mean,
just
Boise's one of
exploded.
the places as well
Yeah.
that's booming like crazy for sure. And I know
I'm
quite
seeing
a
a lot more build to rent though. Are you seeing a lot more build to rent, or are you talking about are people coming for subdivisions and all those type of things?
So it's kind
Construction
of
loans.
both, right? So the big subdivisions are going to be your build to rents. I actually live in a community that was built to rent,
Okay.
especially in Austin. They started the build to rent. We've seen a little bit of a slowdown. It was really popular right after COVID because that's when everybody started that wave of moving over. All
Hmm.
the investors started to get into and started to build to rent, but they kind of overbuilt on the rents. So then now the prices have dropped a ton, and then the build to rent style has kind of slowed down.
Okay.
Still profitable. I'm seeing a shift going into like the Carolinas into Tennessee. Maybe not so much as Texas. But I mean, yeah, building as well. If you pull up a map in, any of the major cities, you can go to the DFW area. If you zoom in just in that major metroplex area, it's
Hmm.
super weird. Like it'll be on a street, it'll be house, 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 land, house, land, house, 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 land, land, house.
Right.
So, and they all have their parcel IDs. So you can just be a individual builder, buy that piece of land that's already in a very established area. You're not having to build outside or anything rural,
Hmm.
and then your comps are just right down the street because somebody else is building as well, or somebody just built right there
Right.
as well.
So a lot of infill lots.
So lots of info lots, lots of, supply there. I think, the demand is high. I think we're
Mm.
short overall in Texas over 300,000 homes.
Jeez,
While
really?
we've got people still moving in, we can't keep up with that. So
Yeah.
it's a never-ending cycle of we need more homes, we need more builders, we need more loans. And that's what I kind of saw. And I was like, I'm going to go after these types of loans because not as many loan officers understand it, and
Hmm.
not as many individuals kind of see it as like, oh yeah, like we have that option at our company, but I couldn't tell you how to really underwrite a loan. I couldn't really tell you how to do it. Here are the numbers. If you want it, take it. So yeah, I've kind of taken that head on once I
Okay.
came over to this company 7 months ago. And now everybody in the company comes to me when they have a ground up construction loan and they're like, hey, Everett, can you help me? Is this a good deal for the borrower? How can we
Hmm.
underwrite this? How can we do this? So now, my company's giving me a little bit more of, I don't know, I guess responsibility in that space and are including me in a lot more of things towards the ground up development space.
Okay. Is there a kind of like framework or something that what makes a ground up I mean, makes it look good? Like, are there certain things that like you look at something and you say, okay, that looks good?
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's really it's going to be very similar to your fix and flip loan.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
it's just kind of reversed roles. So typically, your fix and flip is going to be a high purchase price with a low rehab budget, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we say 250K is a purchase with $50,000 of a rehab. In ground up construction, it's reversed. So it's like you're buying land for 50 grand, but then you're building for 250,000.
Right.
And then your spread just has to be, it's going to be also bigger as well. So instead of maybe on a fix and flip, your profit was, 20, 30, 40 grand, your profit on a ground up
Two,
construction is
three, 400 grand, maybe.
exactly. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it can be way, way, way more.
Yep.
But then also, I think the big thing is also just looking at the plot of land. Is it buildable? Is it in a flood zone? Is it in, does the borrower actually have experience, right? Not a lot of lenders want to lend to somebody who's never done a ground up construction because
Yeah.
it's more risky. I'm just a loan officer. I think and this is just my personal opinion, I think it's a lot safer than a fix and flip because you're going into the deal building from scratch, right?
Yeah.
You go into a fix and flip, if you couldn't see something, your pipes are eroded, the flooring is bad because you couldn't get
Mm-hmm.
into that house. Well, there goes your whole profit because now you have to pay for that.
Now you have to
With
redo it. Yeah.
building, you're building from scratch, right? And your five most expensive things is your foundation, framing, plumbing, electrical, um, which is all warranted as well.
Right.
Um, so I think it's a safer risk for investors. I think it's a lot easier to do as well.
Mm-hmm.
And the process takes just the same amount of time, right? Like once you get your permits pulled, I'm seeing a lot of these builders, building spec homes that are, just under 2,000 square foot homes. They're building and they're done within 3 to 4 months. And then they've
Right.
got a month or two on market. So they're in and out of a loan within 6 months, right?
Yeah.
So definitely takes the same amount of time as all that. But back to, the experiences, a lot of people want to see you have experience in building, right? So someone who's never built a home before, they joint venture with someone who has the JV in that way. What they can do, what we actually will accept at our company is if you've been in the fix and flip game and you're wanting to
Mm-hmm.
transition over to ground up construction, as long as you have three fix and flips that's worth over 200,000, or if you're in a market that doesn't really need a flip of 200,000, but if it looks like, and you have kind of documentation and you've kind of torn a house all the way down to its studs,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll give you a barrier of entry loan for ground up construction so that you're not having to pay out of pocket in cash. So we favor the ground up construction. We like it. We think it's less of a risk. Um, Also, obviously, still risk induced.
But I still, and I think, and I'm under the firm believing that, if you're going to start doing and you don't have the experience, just get someone who does. Partner with
100%.
someone, and not just the fact that it's going to help you get the funding, but it's going to help you learn, save time in mistakes, save time in the pitfalls that you don't want to run into. So, uh,
100%. Yeah.
it might
It's
cost you a little bit of money, but it's well worth it.
or maybe you just don't make as much, but hey, it's better than making a little bit than losing money or not making anything at all,
But you're not
right?
losing the knowledge. The knowledge
Yeah,
is, what you take to the next one.
exactly. Far greater than anything else at the end of the day is the knowledge.
What makes your company stand out versus some of the other lenders out there?
So, um, what stands out from us and what's brought me over to my this current company is a lot of lenders out there, and maybe it's not lenders, maybe it's just loan originators, and it's the community that they've kind of curated is, let me just tell you whatever I can so that I can get your deal. And then
Mm,
if for some reason we can't do it, it's all right, sorry, adios. Like we're gonna give you a very long no, but we're gonna try to win your deal.
yeah,
With us, we're gonna underwrite the loan as soon as possible and we're gonna give you a quick no. I'd rather have you be mad at me or not mad at me, because I told you that right off the bat. I'm like, hey, this doesn't look like something that we can do.
Yeah.
Rather than try to win your business, get all of your information, have you do all this work, and then 2 weeks later, then I'm like, hey, sorry, I can't do it for you.
Yeah.
That's where investors get really mad. So our kind of company motto is we do what we say we're going to do.
Yeah.
Right. If I say that, hey, this is going to be your rate and points based on the information that you've given me, that's what it's going to be. We're not going to come back and change anything from you. Unless you provided that you're some super experienced builder or, fix and flipper and you've never done one before, then obviously you're going to get, there's going to be a difference in rate and points. Right. So
Right.
that's something that's huge is we do what we say we're going to do. And again, we have so much expertise and knowledge. I think something that we also do on ground up construction is we'll actually fund the purchase of the land as well. So most times it's lenders will say, yes, if you bring us the land purchased free and clear, we'll fund 100% of the vertical because that's basically your collateral.
Right.
What we can actually do is we'll fund the purchase of the land with you and fund the vertical as well. So it's basically we'll do both of them together how you would do a fix and flip.
Right.
So that's something super huge that a lot of lenders also won't do, which
Very
has
cool.
been super beneficial. It does take a little bit longer to do so because we do need some building plans in place. So roughly takes us about 3 weeks because we have to get an appraisal. We need those building plans. So if you have a seller who's willing to wait those, 3-4 weeks for you to be able to get the plans, get them in place, get them over to us, then it's a great option for those who can't buy, a plot of land that's worth $50, $60, $70,000 outright in cash, and then have to go out and do a vertical. And then at that point, now we still have our minimums, right? You need to show your interest reserve, you need to pay for closing costs, things like that. So it's very reversed roles of like you've got a lot of upfront cost. So with us being able to purchase the land with you, instead of having to own it free and clear, it's huge. It helps a lot more people get into the build game, or even again, as you said in the very beginning, 2 to 5x, right? I was talking to an investor and he was like, oh, well, rates are high, private money loan, hard money loans are high, getting into 12 to 14%, whatever it might be. I'd rather just pay for everything cash. And I asked the investor, I was like, what's your end goal? Are you just trying to build one at a time? What are you trying to do? And he's like, well, I want to build multiple at a time. And I'm like, well, you've got $300,000. I'm like, let's do the math. You can do 5 with us, make a 20% return cash on cash. So that's 100% return, build 5 at a time within 6 months and then go do it over. So now you're at a 200% return.
Yeah.
Rather than doing maybe 1 to 2 at a time with all of your own cash. Now your actual cash on cash return is less because you spent 300,000 to make 50,000 when you could have spent 50,000 to make 50,000. So when I was able to break it down to him, he was like, and that conversation was 3 weeks ago, and now I have 4 loans with him right now that we're in the middle of processing because it finally clicked.
That's awesome.
Cash is king, yes, it's true, but it's more king when it's in your own bank account and it's leveraged in many ways rather than in the actual deal.
Yeah, no, I agree. I 100%, man.
So yeah, it's huge that's something that we're able to offer.
Cool. Well, if the folks are listening to this, and they want to get in touch with you about some loans or whatnot, how do they reach out?
Yeah. So, do you list like my company info?
Yeah,
or,
we'll put your stuff in the show notes.
Okay,
But if
so,
you
I
want to
mean,
give
if
it, if you
people
want
are
to give it
just
out, you can.
listening, you can find me on Instagram, Everett Brunelle. I post a lot of real estate content there. You can find me on LinkedIn, Everett Brunelle, and then our company name is American Heritage Lending. So yeah, based in Irvine, California, but we've got guys everywhere out in the field. And
Awesome.
if you're in the Texas market, I mean, I drive to Dallas all the time. I'm in Austin, and I'm willing to meet you up in Houston and San Antonio as well, because they're not too far off.
Very cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on here, Everett, and sharing your knowledge, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you took some good notes. And if you have any interest or do anything in Dallas or the DFW or Austin or anywhere in Texas, really, give them a call. Guys,
Yeah,
we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you
Cheers.
so much.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.